Yes, indeedy. As another big weekend of high school football is upon us, it's time once again for Murphy's Matchups with the guru of high school football in Tennessee, Murphy Fair. Brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance. And now here with the AAA matchups, here's Murphy Fair. Wobar.
Thank you very much, Keith. A big weekend for district action here in Week 2 all across the Volunteer State. We'll start in East Tennessee at the AAA level. Bradley Central at Soddy Daisy. Bradley, a 52-14 winner in this one last year. I think it'll be closer, but I still think Bradley Central comes away with a win. Anderson County should beat Campbell County. Look for Morristown West to beat Cherokee. A district game with very early playoff implications. Ottawa should top Cleveland in a close game. I like Carnes over Clinton. Dobbins-Bennett travels to Death Valley at Sullivan South, and I think the Indians come away with a road win in this one. Farragut should beat Knoxville Catholic. I like Powell to top Knoxville Halls in the Battle of Emory Road. Two new coaches in this one this year. Lenore City should beat Heritage. I like Alcoa over Loudon. Maryville over Knoxville West. Knoxville West with a very good team, but I just can't pick against Maryville. South Doyle should beat Morristown East. Look for Oak Ridge over Knoxville Central. McMinn County should beat Ray County. I like Science Hill over Sullivan Central. Sevier County should top Jefferson County. Sevier County, the District 2A favorite, won 38-14 last year. Look for Seymour to beat Cocke County. Tennessee High should beat Davy Crockett. Look for Daniel Boone to beat Volunteer. And Bearden to top William Blunt. In Middle Tennessee, Antioch coach Michael Woodward, a very good football team this year. I think they have little trouble with Hillwood this week. Look for Brentwood to top Independence in a Thursday night light TV game on MyTV 30. Cane Ridge should beat Hunters Lane, a much improved Cane Ridge team under first-year coach Jonathan Parks. Clarksville should beat Clarksville Northwest. I like Northeast over Springfield. Columbia should have little trouble with Tullahoma. The Wildcats of Tullahoma in a major rebuilding mode this year. Cumberland County should have little trouble with Warren County. I like Dixon County over Rossview. Look for Franklin Simpson, Kentucky to beat West Creek. Centennial should beat Franklin. If so, that will be the first time in the 15-year history between these two teams that Centennial's Cougars come away with a win. Nashville Overton over Glencliff, I think. Look for Hendersonville to beat Wilson Central. After putting 35 on Gallatin a couple of weeks ago, though, I think this Wilson Central team may be much better than originally thought. Mount Juliet should have no trouble with Portland. Look for Oakland to beat Laverne. Hillsboro should beat Ravenwood. Riverdale over Smyrna. Shelbyville should top Franklin County. And Siegel should beat Blackman. That could be a much closer game than a lot of people think. Blackman may be a little better team than originally predicted. Beach should beat Station Camp. And I like Cookeville over White County in a very close game. Out in West Tennessee, look for Arlington to beat Cordova. Millington should top Bartlett. Millington still reeling a bit after the death of a player in practice last week. Craigmont over Bolton. I like Collierville to beat Houston. Look for White Station to beat Hamilton. I like Jackson Northside over Dyer County. The winner of that one has the inside track maybe on hosting a playoff game in a couple of months. Germantown should beat Kirby. Look for Memphis Central to top Memphis East. I like Ridgeway over Memphis Overton. Munford should top Hardin County. Whitehaven travels all the way to East St. Louis, Illinois. They will be participating in the City of Champions Classic with 8 inner-city teams that stretch from Chicago to Memphis participating in this great event. Once again, Whitehaven over East St. Louis. Finally, Keith, I like Southwind over Wooddale.
Yes, indeedy. And Murphy, talking about my senior year of high school football, after we went 0-10, our coach said, quote, we couldn't win at home, we couldn't win on the road, so heck, I cannot figure out
Yes, Keith.
where else we could have played. Whoa, Bob. And we'll be back with more of Murphy's Matchups after this time out.
A hat says a lot about a man. Who he is, what he does, what he stands for. Hey, this is Charlie. Join me as I switch out my traditional red hat with a limited edition pink hat. Farm Bureau Insurance is proud to be a statewide partner with the American Cancer Society's Making Strides Against Breast Cancer. Visit your local Farm Bureau office and get your own pink hat for a minimum donation of $5. Find an office near you at fbitn.com.
Hello, this is Bruce Daniel with Huff and Puff Trucking.
When we hauled our first load of freight in 1983 with just a handful of good folks, we knew we would have to huff and puff just to make a living. But with a lot of grit and hard work, we have become a flatbed carrier that delivers freight all over the United States and Canada. We haven't lost sight of things that are important. We focus on our employees and giving back to our community. Our company is built on dedicated individuals who know Huff and Puff Trucking is not just a catchy name, but a work ethic to be proud of.
Yes, indeedy. We are back on Murphy's Matchups, and here comes the guru of high school football in Tennessee, Murphy Fair, along with Coach Wayne Turner of Tyner Academy.
Wayne, you've been doing what you do at Tyner High School for about 22 years now. It probably makes you one of the more senior head coaches in all of Hamilton County, doesn't it?
Well, pretty much so. I don't think anybody left around here has been doing it as long as I have.
It's a very unique situation there at Tyner, the way things have changed over the years and the complexion of your student body and that kind of thing, but nobody seems to love those kids out there any more than you do, and you've got something very special going on there at Tyner, I think.
Well, it's a pretty good relationship between me and all the young people that go to school here. You know, I enjoy working with them. They're a pleasure for me to be around as well, because this is one of the best kept secrets in Hamilton County. I think this is a well-run school. It's well organized. The kids respond tremendously, and they're all well behaved for the most part, and they do a tremendous job of showing respect to people in authority.
You have a huge game this week against Brainerd, maybe one of your bigger rivals over the years as far as Tyner rivalries go. Tell us a little about that recent history with Brainerd and what your thoughts are on this week's game against that team.
Brainerd's a very formidable opponent because they've got good athletes just like we do, and they do a tremendous job of executing on the offensive side of the ball. And we didn't play well against them last year, so we need to step our game up a little bit this year and get back on the right track against them. So hopefully we can do that.
You have starters back at 6 positions on both sides of the ball. What do you think your biggest strengths are this year as you get ready for the second game of the 2012 season?
Well, I think the biggest strengths that we have so far is offensive backfield and defensive secondary and a linebacking crew. We're pretty experienced at those positions. We're a little bit young and green up front on the offensive and defensive fronts, but they're starting to come around a little bit every day that we go out there. So hopefully we can continue to make progress in that area, and that'll make us a better football team.
I'm going to go back several years to your college playing days, and people of our generation certainly remember the name Ray Guy, probably the greatest punter in the history of the National Football League, and he was one of your teammates at Southern Miss. Tell us how Wayne Turner wound up in Hattiesburg, Mississippi in the first place to play collegiate football.
Well, I guess I was pretty fortunate. I mean, I was fortunate enough to be recruited by Southern Miss, and Coach Hitch, who was one of the defensive coaches down there, he was the one that did the recruiting up in this area, and then I had the pleasure of playing for them, and Coach Underwood down there was a tremendous man, and I had a great deal of respect for him because he did a tremendous job of treating everybody fairly and honestly, and he was a good-hearted person, and I just enjoyed the campus down there because everything was close. You didn't have to walk real far to get to classes, and it was just a tremendous place to be, and I enjoyed it tremendously.
A lot of people in college in the 60s when we were didn't necessarily have their own transportation. You had to rely on your feet to get to where you wanted to go, didn't you?
No, pretty much so. And you know, even on the campuses nowadays, it doesn't pay to drive because there's nowhere to park in those places. So, you know, if you go to a school where everything's pretty well centrally located and easy to get to, it makes it a lot easier to go to class.
And we thank you, Coach Turner, and we shall be back with more of Murphy's Matchups after this time out.
Deciding where to attend college should not be a difficult decision. Choose a school that will provide you with one-to-one attention students deserve. Choose a school that is going to make an investment in you. Cumberland University has a reputation for unparalleled personal attention. Cumberland students take pride in the fact that their professors help them find success for life after college. Find out how Cumberland University can help you find success. Check us out online at www.cumberland.edu.
Hey, it's Charlie. Everybody knows I have Farm Bureau insurance on all my vehicles. My daddy had it on his vehicles, and so did my papa. And while I've been tremendously happy with him, I can sure understand why you wouldn't want to just take my word for it. So instead, take this guy's word for it.
In a 2012 U.S. Auto Insurance study by J.D. Power and Associates, Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee was given the award for the highest customer satisfaction among auto insurers in the Southeast region.
Yeah, what he said.
For J.D. Power and Associates award information, go to jdpower.com.
We're back on Murphy's Matchups, and here he is, the guru of Tennessee high school football, Murphy Fair.
Thank you very much, Keith. Week 2 of the TSSAA high school football season in East Tennessee. Some great AA and single A games. We will start in the city of Knoxville, where the Falcons of Fulton High School entertain Austin East. A lot of renovations to the stadium there at Fulton, and I think the Falcons get things started there with a great win over their big rivals. Austin East leads the series 27-17, but Fulton gets the measure of the Roadrunners this year. Signal Mountain should beat Bledsoe County. I like Tyner to beat Brainerd, another big rivalry, this one in the city of Chattanooga. This one dates back many years. Look for the Rams to roll this time. Carter should beat Union County. I like Chucky Doak over Claiborne. East Hamilton should top Chattanooga Central. Look for Red Bank to beat East Ridge. Swain County, North Carolina should get Gatlinburg-Pittman. I think Elizabethton and Happy Valley stage another big battle. Both teams with the same 37643 zip code, but Elizabethton, the Cyclones, just too much for the Warriors of Happy Valley this year. Hickson should beat Howard in Chattanooga. Look for Unicoi County to beat Johnson County. I like Notre Dame over Chattanooga Christian. Gibbs should beat Pigeon Forge. Look for Polk County to get the measure of McMinn Central. I think Kingston beats Scott. A great chance for Kingston to get off to a 3-0 start with a win. Scott High School. Sequatchie County should beat Grundy County. I like Sequoia over Meigs County. South Green should beat Cumberland Gap. I expect Sullivan North to beat Sullivan East and Granger to beat West Green. Here in the Mid-State, a border rivalry, if you will, in Woodbury, where DeKalb County takes on Cannon County. A little bit too much of a great passing game by the guys from Smithville, though, as DeKalb County should roll in that one. Giles County should beat East Hickman. I like Good Pasture over Macon County. Greenbrier should beat Sycamore. Look for Lipscomb Academy to beat East Nashville. Those teams known last year as David Lipscomb and East Literature. They've changed their names, however, for the start of the 2012 season. Harpeth should beat Creekwood. I like Marshall County to get Hickman County. Fairview should beat Lewis County. Smith County in a big rivalry with Livingston Academy. This could be for the 8AA title. However, DeKalb County may have something to say about that a little later on down the season. Look for Cheatham County to beat Montgomery Central. Cheatham County off to a great start after a big win over Fairview a couple of weeks ago. I like Page over Spring Hill. CAK should beat Stone Memorial. Look for Pearl Cone to beat Stratford. York Institute should beat Upperman. Look for Stewart County to beat Waverly. I like White House over Westmoreland and Maplewood over Whites Creek. Out west, as we cross the Tennessee River once again, look for Chester County, another team off to a good start to handle JCM rather easily. Covington and Dyersburg, a great West Tennessee rivalry. Both teams with pretty good squads this year. I like Covington to emerge the winner in this great contest. Lexington should beat Fayette Ware. Look for Oak Haven to beat Hillcrest in Memphis. Jackson Southside should beat Bolivar. Crockett County should beat Haywood. The rebuilding program in Alamo off to a great start this year. Liberty should beat McNary Central. I like Kingsbury over Manassas. Milan should top Gibson County, a tough test for new Gibson County coach Morgan Cruz. Mitchell should beat Fairleigh. Another Memphis game finds Tresvant probably topping Raleigh, Egypt. I like Carver over Sheffield. Ripley should beat South Gibson. First-year coach Kerry Craig at Ripley doing some great things down there at Tiny Knee Stadium. Westview should beat Obion Central, and I like Westwood over Booker T. Washington. Now to the Class Single A ranks. Look for Boyd Buchanan to beat Silverdale. I like Cloudland over Hancock County. Sweetwater should beat Chattanooga Grace. Greenback at Tellico, a great Greenback team this year. I think they roll over the Bears. Look for Hampton to beat Cosby. Copper Basin should beat Hayesville, North Carolina. I like Knoxville Grace over Rockwood, two of District 3A's best teams. Another one, Greenback from that same district, but I think Grace beats Rockwood. Midway should beat Pickett County. I like North Green over Unaka. Oliver Springs should top Oakdale. Look for Oneida to beat Wartburg. South Pittsburgh, the Pirates should beat Lookout Valley. Look for Coalfield to beat Sunbright, and I like Marion County over Whitwell. Lots of great action in the southern part of Middle Tennessee involving 1A teams. Look for Collinwood to beat Richland. I think Columbia Academy tops Loretta. Look for Forest to beat Community. Perry County, despite heavy graduation losses, still a pretty good football team. I think the Vikings top Cornersville. Joe Burns should beat East Robertson. Look for defending 2A state champion Friendship Christian to beat Gordonsville in a close Region 1A game. Watertown should top Huntland. Look for Cascade to beat Middle Tennessee Christian. Monterey should beat Clay County. I like Moore County over Eagleville. Last year, Eagleville won 10-7, a great game, and it should be a dandy again this time around. Look for Clarksville Academy to beat Nashville Christian. Trousdale County should beat Jackson County, and look for White House Heritage to get the better part of Houston County. Over across the river in West Tennessee, look for Huntingdon to beat Brewston Central. McKenzie should top Dresden. I think that may be the best single-A game in Northwest Tennessee this week. Once again, McKenzie, I think, beats Dresden. Look for Frazier to beat Douglas. West Carroll should beat Gleason. Lake County should top Greenfield. I like Union City over Halls. Humboldt, I think, gets the better of South Fulton. Look for MAHS to beat Memphis Northside. Scotts Hill should beat Middleton. Adamsville should beat Riverside. And finally, Forrest.
Yes, sir.
I like Mount Pleasant to get the better part of Wayne County.
Hello. When I was a tailback for the Greenbow County High School team, I was telling the coach before the season started that my goal was to rush for either 1,000 yards or 1,500 yards.
Yes, Forrest.
Whichever came first.
Stupid is as stupid does. We'll be back with more of Murphy's Matchups after this timeout.
Berryville to Memphis, son, you better get this. Everywhere you go, I'm gonna be there too. I'll be there in all good, Berry Hill and Brentwood. You can bet your buckle I'll be looking for you. Up in Nashville, I will find you. Down in Dixon, I'll be there. Out in Dover, pulling you over. Like your mama said, you better best beware. You better best beware, 'cause I'll be there. I'll be there.
Law enforcement is on the lookout for impaired drivers. In cities, towns, even out in the country. Booze it and lose it.
From Martin to McMinnville, Chattanooga, Churchill, Tullahoma, Trimble, and old Knoxville too. Out in Clearview, in your rear view. Let me tell you, son, I shall be looking for you. It's what I do. I'll be looking for you.
Paid for by the Governor's Highway Safety Office.
I'll be there. Beware.
Yes, indeedy. We are back on Murphy's Matchups, and we want to remind you that you can go to ballfrog.com on the web to get live high school scores and updates. You heard me right, ballfrog.com. And now, here with the coach of Chester County, Michael Hodum, it's the guru, Murphy Fair.
Coach Hodum, has been a good start thus far this year. I think a lot of people expected this to be a rebuilding year for the Eagles, but you guys are off to a fast start.
Yes, a very good start. The kids have really bought into what we're trying to do, and they're playing well right now. And a lot of young kids out there that aren't used to being out there, so when you get that, sometimes you worry about jitters. But so far, we're doing good with the turnovers, and that's one of the things you worry about. But so far, so good.
A lot of people in other parts of the state don't realize that you were an assistant coach there at Chester County before a very successful run at Trinity Christian. Of course, last year, your first year in charge of the Eagle program down there, you guys did a great job. What was so attractive about returning to Henderson to take over that program?
One thing for sure is the town itself. Henderson is a great town with great support. When I was at Trinity Christian, they would always bring a big crowd when we played them. That was one of the non-region or non-district games on our schedule, and they would always bring a great crowd. And no matter what, they supported got behind their football team. I love the idea that there's only one high school in the county, even though, that may not be the best way to share athletes and get athletes from other schools and things like that with the open enrollment that you hear so much about. But at the same time, it's a great thing to know that you're the only high school in town and that everybody in the town is going to support you. You go down to McDonald's or Burger King or whatever, and that guy behind the counter, there's where his loyalty is, and everybody's always excited about what's going on with the student athletes around here.
Coach, West Tennessee over the years has been known primarily for basketball, certainly much more than football, but in the last several years, football is starting to take the center part of that stage, if you will, and there's really not a lot of breathers on your schedule with other schools of your size like Covington and Dyersburg and Lexington. It's a tough battle every Friday night you take to the gridiron, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. In our district, we have Lexington and Liberty, and Chester County, all three last year we were in the AP top 10 in 4A for the better part of the year. When you've got three teams in one district like that are battling, it makes for some good, exciting football. West Tennessee football definitely is. I think it's come a long way, and of course, I grew up here and played here and everything, and here in West Tennessee. So, that's something that I like to see. I love to see it, become more competitive, and it's there's more than just the Milans now and the Haywoods. There's other schools that really have stepped up and put some great programs together.
Tell our listeners what it's like to be in Henderson on a Friday night in the fall.
It's the thing to do on Friday night. There's no movie theater here in town. We don't have any, we don't have a lot of the stuff that the big cities have. Most every Friday night last year that we had a home game, it was, it's standing room only. And of course that's great for the players. But, it's all about the players, and they get excited. That really gets them pumped up, and we're hoping that we have a good home record this year like we did last year.
We thank you, Coach Odom, and we'll be back to wrap it up on Murphy's Matchups after this time out.
Hello, everyone. This is Murphy Fair, Tennessee's high school football guru, to tell you about the good people who are Star Physical Therapy. I don't normally make endorsements unless I feel extremely strong about a company, but Star Physical Therapy fits that bill. STAR's clinicians have the most up-to-date technology and training at their disposal. They truly care about their patients and want to get them back on the field or back on the job 100% as soon as possible. And with more than 60 convenient locations in 3 states, Star Physical Therapy is convenient to just about everyone in the volunteer state. Check them out at starpt.com. You'll be glad you did.
We're back to wrap it up on Murphy's Matchups, and here's the star of the show, Murphy Fair.
Thank you once again, Keith, as we take a look at Division II games in week number 2 of the 2012 season. 15 games on tap involving Division II teams this week. We'll start in Brentwood, where the Eagles of Brentwood Academy play host to Montgomery Bell Academy. Could be a better game than I think many think. I still believe, however, that the Eagles will soar high in this one. Knoxville Webb at Zion Christian. This one could be pretty one-sided with a Webb victory there. BGA should beat Pope John Paul II. Look for Innsworth to win on the road at McCallie in Chattanooga. Ezell Harding should beat Mount Juliet Christian. I like Franklin Road Academy over Davidson Academy in Nashville. Baylor, another Chattanooga area team, should knock off Father Ryan. Look for Briarcrest to beat Melrose over in Shelby County. FACS should beat Bishop Byrne. Harding Academy visits ECS. I think this one probably for top honors in Division II Single A, Group 2 in the West. I like ECS to come out the winner in this one. MUS should beat Fayetteville, Arkansas. Look for SBEC to beat Pillow Academy, another Mississippi team. I think USJ beats Rossville Christian. St. George's should beat Jackson Christian. And Floyd?
Woo. Yes, Murphy.
Look for Fayette Academy to have another big win this week at home, taking on Tipton Rosemark.
Woo. Big news in Mayberry, Murphy. Big news, yes. Barney missed last Friday night's high school game because of trouble with the squad car. So when Barney called Mr. Goodrich, Mr. Goodrich told Barney...
Yes, Floyd?
to call Mr. Tow Truck.
Now, Floyd, the old deputy, was telling Thelma Lou that when I was a scholar athlete starring for Mayberry High School's football team, before the season started, I said, "Now, Coach, I promised to graduate from high school on time."
Yes, Barney.
No matter how many decades it takes.
Bad idea to be that stupid, Barney. Bad idea. Stupid is as stupid does, Barney.
Nip it, nip it, nip it. Shazam!
Imagine that. Barney thinking he's a scholar athlete. Ooh, nice.
Yes, indeedy. And that's going to do it for this week, fellas, for the Guru, Murphy Fair, and Steve Armistead. Thanks for being with us on Murphy's Matchups, brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance. We'll see you next week on Murphy's Matchups. Bye-bye.
Going to be intercepted by the Cougars.
Snap, set, kick on the way.
Yes, sir.
The kick is up,
and it is
good.
Good.
Drops the throw.
But makes the catch. Spectacular grab.
Just streaking down the football field. Around the half, 25, 20.
Inside the 5. That's a huge play. He's going to go. Touchdown, Cougars!
The 2012 Tennessee high school football season already 2 games old as the Middle Tennessee Christian School Cougars come down to Wartrace, Tennessee to take on the champions of Cascade. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Alongside Jeremy Smith, I am Jay Bruner, getting set to call the action for you once again as the Cougars look to start off well as district play opens tonight, Jeremy.
Yeah, rough start to the year. Obviously, last week we'll get into that when the keys to the game come into play. But last week, Cougars had the lead after 3 quarters, but just could not close the deal. The final score really not indicative of how well they played for most of that game.
Absolutely not. And the question was raised by you and I, Jeremy, is can this team play with a lead? Can this team win a game? Because let's face it, they're not used to it.
Yeah, after winning just 1 game last year, after making the playoffs, 3 seasons in a row. Got to get back to that winning mentality. Obviously, Brian Stewart so far as head coach here, only the 1 win. But, this is a different Cougar team this year. We've seen the improvement on the field. Now they've just got to translate that into the scoreboard and into the win column.
So with that, let's jump right into our absolute keys of the game, Jeremy. Brought to you by Absolute Restoration. If you live in Tennessee, the weather can be unpredictable, kind of like today. But in those times when your home or property have been damaged by wind, water, fire, or storms, there's one team will be there for you, and that's Absolute Restoration. And when you call them at 615-893-4343 or visit them online at absoluterestoration.com, Mike and Kyle will put over 50 years of restoration and construction experience to work and get your property and your life back to normal. In an unpredictable world, it's good to have a team you can count on, and that team is Absolute Restoration. So, Jeremy Smith, if you will take over and run us through our keys to the game tonight, brought to you by Absolute Restoration.
Absolutely, Jason. First key to the game, 48 minutes, please. And you may wonder what that is all about, but the Cougars last week played well for 36 minutes of that game, had a lead after 36 minutes of that game, but the fourth quarter, they were not the same Cougar team. A collapse in the fourth quarter led to what looked like a blowout in the score column, but really was not the way that game was played. Going into the second key to the game, fill the gaps. Creed Rose, starting running back here for Cascade, averages 188 rushing yards per game. Of the 184 yards versus Joe Burns last week, Creed Rose had 173 of those 184 on the ground.
That's
so obviously,
incredible.
yeah, you got to find a way to slow him down. Easier said than done, though, obviously. And obviously shrug it off. You're coming off of a tough loss where you really thought you had a win in the bag for much of that game. Defense played well. Offense played well for most of that game. Fourth quarter is just when it really came unraveled. So It's a new week. District play begins. It's a road game. We're not going to be home again for quite a while, so they better get used to it.
Yep. We got just under a month now to go until the next game at the Throne, September 28th against Community. And the champions won the opening coin toss and elected to defer till the second half, so MTCS will start out on offense tonight. And, Jeremy, it has been just rainy enough in the mid-state to make this field really, really sloppy. And the quarterback center exchange is going to be a pivotal key for both teams tonight with a wet ball. And obviously in the passing game and in the running game, ball security and being able to hold on to those passes and being able to hold on to that ball when Tanner Green is running the football tonight.
Exactly. They got to find a way not to get in trouble with the turnovers. They've done a pretty good job of that so far this year. They've gotten in trouble at times, but holding on to the ball, avoiding those unnecessary penalties are going to be key for MTCS tonight, along with obviously the normal factors, slowing down the running game and obviously converting when you have chances on offense.
So final handshakes at the 50-yard line for the captains for both teams. Now this game is set to get well and truly underway. Another game tonight from the stands, Jeremy.
We're used to this a little bit, aren't we?
Yeah, it's a good atmosphere when we got the fans right in front of us.
You'll hear crowd noise.
And to start it out tonight, the Cougars will come running through the banner. And here they come. Being led out onto the field by number 54, senior Kyle Howard, who just recently, Jeremy, in the last week and a half, signed a scholarship with Cumberland University to play baseball. So congratulations to him.
Very
His
cool.
dad, Mark Sharp, is the quarterback's coach for the Cougars. And talking to him before the game, Jeremy, he was just head over heels excited.
I would be too. That's absolutely incredible to get a scholarship in the sport that you love. So that's awesome to hear. A couple of injury notes here tonight. Zach Brandon's still out. Nick Merritt also out. Jordan Evans also out.
Nick Merritt ended up with a mild concussion after last week's game. TSSAA regulations state that any concussion, whether mild or severe, you're out at least one game, which is a good rule.
Yeah, I mean, it's safe. Definitely.
So kicking off for the champions will be the freshman, number 7, Trent Sutton. Drifting deep for MTCS is going to be Tanner Green, Justin Wynn, and number 20, Griffin Harper.
So MTCS starts on offense in this week number 2, game number 3 action. As the Cougars try to get their first win of 2012.
And their first win ever over Cascade.
Yeah, absolutely, that's true.
Building to a fever pitch as Sutton sets to approach the ball. Waiting for the referee's whistle.
At some point. I'm sure that band over there is getting pretty tired.
There's the whistle. Here comes Sutton. And we're underway from Wartrace, Tennessee. Griffin Harper's going to take it at his own 15. Gets up to the 25. Finds a little bit. Is going to be gang tackled as he gets across the 30. Good starting field position for MTCS. Right about the 32-yard line.
Not bad at all.
17-yard return for Harper. And now Brent Hoffbauer in the offense will go to work.
That's something MTCS has done well this year. Starting field position in all 3 games. I mean, obviously this game is very young, but they've always had good luck in getting good kick returns.
Peyton Buckner and Tanner Green both in the backfield with senior quarterback Brent Hoffbauer. On first down and 10 from the 32. Gavin Burgess, the center, gets the handoff. Green gets the first carry of the game. Helmet pops off. Helmet pops off, and that player, whether it was Green or not, it was 65, sophomore Leo Arantes. New TSSAA rule this year, Jeremy, if your helmet comes off, you have to come out for a play. So Arantes comes off. Kyle Howard comes on. Give Tanner Green a gain of only 1 yard. It's going to be second down and 9.
Opening up with a much different formation tonight, like you said, with Buckner back there.
Second down, Hoff going to look to throw. Quick out, caught by Buckner, and he's just face planted right there by number 20 for the champions, and that is Cody Smith, the senior. That's going to be a loss all the way back to their own 28. So a loss of about 5. It's going to be about third down 14 now. And another area where the Cougars have struggled pretty much since we've started covering them, Jeremy, is third down conversions.
Yes, they definitely have.
And this third down and long, pretty much par for the course in 2012. Hoffbauer takes the snap, looks to his left, going to cut it up, and thought about running it, but the defense of the Champions was ready for that, and he's tackled for only a couple of yard gain up to the 25. It's going to be fourth down.
So a quick 3 and out here to start off the MTCS drive, MTCS possession, and definitely didn't really have any rhythm on that offensive series.
But a lot more protection in the backfield for Hoffbauer, both Buckner and Green back there, able to make plays out of the backfield. And Jeremy, in on that tackle for Cascade, number 53, Dylan Vaught.
Yeah, you're going to hear a lot about Dylan and Dakota here tonight. Transferred from MTCS over here to Cascade.
Quick kick for Hoffbauer. Gage Dane gets the ball. Breaking tackles, finally going to be forced out of bounds by Trey Hickey, well into Cougar territory, just outside the 30-yard line. So
very good return.
We talk about good starting field position for the Cougars. The Champions have great starting field position. And now we turn to the Cascade offense and number 4, running back Creed Rose, averaging 188 yards rushing per game in this young 2012 season.
Yikes.
Last week, as you mentioned, Jeremy Smith, 173 yards on the ground against Joe Burns. Cascade only had 184 total yards of offense. And this is Rose breaking a tackle. He has a load to bring down, trucking over Chaz Chaffin as he picks up big yardage inside the 20, down about the 18-yard line. A nice hole over left guard opened up by the offensive line. And the center, once again, is Dylan Vaught. And a nice 15-yard gain for Rose. At quarterback, the freshman Chandler Sulcer.
On a throw here.
Sulcer going to overshoot his target. Incomplete.
Chaffin had a chance for it back there.
Looking for number 99 for Cascade, which, surprise, surprise, Jeremy, is not on our roster.
How often does that happen?
Oh, not at all.
And that's actually an official roster from Cascade High School.
Absolutely. So 2nd and 10 now from the Cougar 18-yard line. Sulcer in the gun with Rose. Tight end to the left. And a 3-receiver set. This is Rose inside. Going to be stopped for little to no gain.
Kyle Howard leading the way there.
Kyle Howard and about 8 other Cougars required to bring down Rose. And he is a fine physical specimen, is Creed Rose. 3 minutes gone already in this young first quarter. Champions threatening now with a 3rd down and 8 at the Cougar 16-yard line. Sulcer and Rose in the backfield for the Champions, along with 20, Cody Smith. This is Sulcer taking the snap. Quick out to the right. Wide open is his man over there with room to run. He's going to be going in for a Champions touchdown. Way too easy for the Cascade offense. That's 19, Matthew Combs. So an early score for Cascade, and they have a 6-0 lead with 8:32 remaining in the first quarter. Just a quick screen pass, a swing pass out to the right, and Sulcer has a touchdown pass. Sutton tacks on the extra point. No, he does not. It is no good.
That helps.
So, kicking woes for all teams that we've seen thus far in 2012, Jeremy. So 6-0 is your score. Now the Cougars will start their second offensive possession after the upcoming kickoff. A 3-and-out was the result of their first possession. A defensive breakdown there to allow Combs to get wide open. But they have to put it behind him. As we said, we need to shrug it off and get back on offense after this kick. Wynn and Harper and Green, again, deep for the Cougars, and Sutton for the Champions, getting set to kick off for the second time in the first 4 minutes of this ball game. Cascade, a feeling after the 2011 season, Jeremy, that they're not used to. They did not win the district title. That was won by an undefeated Eagleville team. The previous 5 district region titles were won by Cascade, going all the way back to when they were members of Region 5 before the realignment in 2009.
An Eagleville team that went 10-0 this year already 1-2 after losing to Moore County last night.
Sutton with a short kickoff, rolling.
They can recover that.
Fallen on by Peyton Buckner right around the 26-yard line, and they're going to mark it right at the stripe for the 25. So 1st and 10 now. Hoffbauer leads the offense back out onto the field. Interesting little wrinkle here, Jeremy, with the backup quarterback, Peyton Buckner, in the backfield the same time as Hoffbauer. You might want to expect maybe a double pass at some point tonight. Very much so. I mean, we haven't seen this all year. Game number 3, and it's the first time we've seen both of them back there in the backfield like that. 3 receiver set. Tanner Green in motion now. Buckner with the carry. Well, they could do that. They could just hand it to Peyton Buckner, have him get maybe 1. Refs are going to spot it for no gain. It's going to be 2nd down and 10. Offense off to a slow start so far here tonight. Well, now we're back out to a typical spread formation. 4 receiver set, 3 to the near side. Single back is Green. Hoffbauer rolling to his right, looking downfield. Going to throw for Austin Melton, who catches it at the 25-yard line, so it'll be a completion, but for a minimal gain. Maybe 1 yard, and that is what it'll be. 3rd down and 9 here. So that rollout exposes Hoffbauer to pressure from the backside, and he's gotten it every single time he's done that. A good decision there just to flip it to Melton. A short gain, but it's not a turnover as we saw on the very first play against Nashville Christian. Exactly. So another 3rd down now. Hoffbauer takes the snap. Going to be quick out to Oakley Starling, who's got some room. Starling cutting it to the outside, breaking a tackle. Going to lower his head, get up to the 30-yard line. It's not going to be nearly enough for a 1st down, but a completed pass and some positive yardage getting this offense going. 4th down once again as Starling gets up around the 31-yard line, so give it a game of 5. The music tonight provided by the Cascade High School Band. Hoffbauer, quick kick, and he shanks it. Ooh, that's very short. Coming to the near sideline, it's going to take a slight Cougar roll and roll out of bounds at the Cougar 46. So the field position battle, didn't mean to interrupt you there. Field position battle definitely not on the Cougar side so far here halfway through the 1st. Well, they're going to need to put some points on the board early against this champion team to have a chance in this one. Already 6-0, 6.5 minutes to go in the 1st quarter. Sulcer and Rose, and in the backfield, former Cougar Dakota Vaught, number 32. 3.5 sacks on defense last week against Joe Burns. This is Vaught getting the carry against his former team, bouncing around inside, going to cross the 45 down near the 44-yard line where he's gang tackled. They're going to mark it just inside the 44-yard line, give Vaught a gain of 3. It's going to be 2nd down and 7. Dakota Vaught now split out to the near side as a receiver. 2 receivers to the far side. Rose in the backfield with Sulcer. Sulcer dropping the pass. Quick out. Got his man who trips but breaks the tackle. Is going to be shoestring tackled over there by Harper, yes. That was 22 for Cascade, Jesse Barnes. So it does bring up 3rd down. A manageable situation here, 3rd and about 4. You may expect Creed Rose to just kind of bull forward on this to pick up the 1st down. Cascade going more with kind of a run and gun offense this year, Jeremy. Yeah, definitely. Sulcer straight ahead with Rose. Rose is going to be stacked up. Very good. And he broke free. He broke free of a scrum, and Creed Rose is going to score. My goodness. How
in the world did he get out of that? I don't know if anybody could hear, but the whole MTCS crowd was up in arms cheering over what looked to be a sure stop at the line of scrimmage. And Creed Rose, being the incredible back that he is, found a way to get through everyone and for another champion score only 7 minutes into the game.
Sutton on for his second point after try. Snap down, kick up, and that time Sutton boots it through. New score with 5:10 to go in the first quarter. It's 13-0 Cascade. So an early hole yet again for MTCS. Brian Stewart needing to get a handle on this really quick and get them to settle down.
Well, real quickly, while we have a moment here, remind you that this first quarter is brought to you by Murphy Fair, the guru of Tennessee high school football. From Clarksville to Chattanooga, from Memphis to the Tri-Cities, and everywhere in between, Murphy covers it all. He knows every team, every coach, every stat, and much more. And he makes it all available to you. Visit murphyfair.com and get to know the guru.
So, third time maybe the charm for the Cougar offense, as this will be their third try once we get done with this kickoff.
Less than 7 minutes in, this is already their third offensive possession.
And the passes that we've seen from Hoffbauer so far, Jeremy, just little swing passes to the side, nothing downfield yet.
And that's what we've seen the success come, is down the field to the likes of Justin Wynn and Oakley Starling, at least in the first 2 weeks.
And Sutton kicking off again, just a short little bloop kick.
About the same as the last one.
Is going to roll out of bounds. So Cascade will have the option to re-kick or let the Cougars take the football at the 35-yard line.
Looks like they'll just take the ball at the 35, and we'll start on offense.
They'll put it on the left hash. And we'll see if the Cougars can pick up a first down, something they've yet to do thus far. Win to the far side, along with Starling.
Whistles.
And Leo Arantes, false starts.
Right now it's 7-0 Siegel over Blackman, 6-0 Laverne over Oakland, 7-0 Riverdale over Smyrna currently early on.
Well, Laverne with the lead on Oakland. That's a surprise early.
All the 7 AAA teams playing each other tonight. Obviously that happens a lot with the 6 big ones.
Yeah, district play getting underway for almost all of the teams in Tennessee tonight and last night. Hoffbauer on first down and 15, rolling to his right, looking downfield, caught by Starling at the 36, and he's cut down at the 38. There's a good downfield pass and catch, going to pick up what they lost on the penalty and a little bit more. Pickup of 8 yards for Oakley Starling, and it's going to be 2nd down and 7. So that rollout play, you have a short pass, you have a medium pass, and you have a deep pass. And in the times that they've run that play thus far this year, Jeremy, that mid-pass has seemed to be the target the majority of the time. It's always open. 3 receivers to the far side now. Fake inside to Buckner. Hoffbauer rolling. Starling again, who can't make the catch. A little underthrown there by Hoffbauer. Starling having to reach down to his shoe tops to try to get it and can't do it. So it's going to be another 3rd down. 3rd down and 7 from the 38. Dakota Vaught in at linebacker for Cascade. Whistles.
Looks like we have a timeout.
And the Cougars will take their first BVI Group Printing timeout. You know, when you need to upgrade your business with professional documents, take a timeout and call BVI Group Printing. Family owned and operated for over 5 years, Brian Melton and the team at BVI Printing will guide you through the setup and creation process and ensure you have top-notch products. Their list of services include direct mail, labels, and commercial printing such as brochures, catalogs, and forms. Call Brian at 615-308-6892 and lead your team over the competition with professional documents from BVI Group Printing. So time to talk about it here for Brian Stewart and the offense on a 3rd down and 7. Not a lot of success so far for the offense.
Yeah, at this point.
4:27 to go in the first quarter and in a 13-0 hole at this point. Jeremy, what does Brian Stewart dial up here with both of his quarterbacks in the offensive backfield? Buckner, the standing tailback now. Buckner, the sophomore. Tanner Green, the freshman, who opened the scoring last week against Ezel with a 21-yard touchdown run. Going to give Buckner some snacks at tailback. This is Buckner faking. Hoffbauer throwing out to Melton. Melton's going to get the first down across the 45 and be shoved out as he gets near midfield, but it is a first down for MTCS.
The first one of the game. That's a gain of 11.
Hoffbauer threw it to Melton, a short pass. Hoffbauer could have also run it. He had plenty of room. He'll take the passing yards, though, in the spread offense. Hoffbauer with 157 yards throwing last week. And it's a first down and 10 for the Cougars at their own 48. Hoffbauer and Buckner still in the Cougar offensive backfield. This is Buckner getting the carry, making one-man mix, spinning and getting cracked.
That's going to be right at the line of scrimmage, about nothing else.
No gain, and delivering the punishment was number 20, Cody Smith.
Our broadcast partner Jason here was really trying to get through the night without finding out the UT score in first quarter, and he's already found out thanks to the Cascade PA announcer.
But it's second down here, Jeremy. Let's focus.
Yes.
Throwback pass over to Tanner Green, catches it, makes one-man miss. Tanner Green breaks out.
That works.
Across midfield out to the Cascade 45. A good pickup on second down. It's going to be 3rd and short.
That'll definitely work.
Making that first man miss was Tanner Green. A good move. Moves the ball down to the Cascade 44-yard line. A gain of 8, and it's going to be 3rd down and 2.
And quietly, Brent Hoffbauer has started off this game 5 of his first 6 passing.
Tanner Green, the tailback with Hoffbauer. 3 receiver set now. Hoffbauer fakes it to Green. Rolling right once more. Hoffbauer going to look, going to pass, going to get Melton again down the near sideline. 35-30, knocked out of bounds at the 30-yard line. It's another first down for MTCS.
Now the offense looks like it's finding a rhythm here.
Hoffbauer on the rollout, waiting for his receivers to come open. When you flood the field with receivers, it's tough to stop an offense that can do that. Another first down for MTCS. Ball at the Cascade 32. 13-0 champions with the lead. 2:23 to go in the first quarter, and the Cougars driving. 4 receiver set. Melton, the single receiver to the near side. Hoffbauer, quick out. There's Starling, cutting inside, trying to get outside now. Going to be taken down. It's going to be a short gain. Double teamed and brought down by 2 Cascade champions, but he's going to advance the ball just inside the 30-yard line. Well, check that. They're going to put it right on the stripe for the 30-yard line. Call it a gain of only 2. It's going to be 2nd down and 8. And 4 down territory now for the offense.
Oh, you definitely got to believe so.
Trey Hickey now, wide receiver to the near side. Inside give, Tanner Green. Big hole, Tanner Green. Tanner Green to the 20. Tanner Green inside the 20 to the 18-yard line.
That's a gain of about 12 yards and a first down.
Another good inside run by Tanner Green, and a good job by the left side of that Cougar offensive line. Kyle Howard, Bryson Hamrick, and center Gavin Burgess opening the hole, and Green exploding through for 12 yards. Hamrick now playing right guard. Arante's in at left guard. Hoffbauer, quick now. Melton, incomplete, over his head. They're going to call it an incomplete pass and not a backwards pass, so play is stopped. It's going to be 2nd down from the 18. They're inside the orange zone for the first time tonight. Buckner comes back in now, and Melton will check out. Melton giving a good account of himself on this drive. Several key catches along with Oakley Starling. 1:22 to go first quarter. Cougars trail 13-0, but are threatening. Green, the standing tailback. 3 receivers to the near side as Hoffbauer looks to throw. Going deep for Justin Wynn, and it's broken up, incomplete.
It's going for that fade.
Double covered over there was Justin Wynn. It's the first time Wynn has been targeted tonight by Hoffbauer. And it's going to bring up 3rd down and 10. 2 straight 3rd down conversions on this drive, Jeremy. Another chance right here as Melton comes back in.
Watch for Melton here. He's been his favorite target so far in this game.
Seem to be switching out Buckner and Melton almost every other play. Tanner Green this time split out wide to the right. It's an empty backfield for Hoffbauer. On this 3rd down play, Starling in motion from left to right as Hoffbauer rolls to his right again, looks to pass. Going to go into the end zone for Starling.
That's got to be.
Falls, and there's the flag.
You knew it was coming. You knew that was coming. Definite pass interference on that play for sure.
Gage Dane for Cascade with the coverage. Their feet got tangled up, and Starling went down. Pass interference. Was it in the end zone? If so, the ball should be placed on the 2 with a 1st down and goal. So we'll wait for the referee's call here and see what will transpire. Thrown by the back judge. Referee does signal pass interference on Cascade. It's going to bring the ball to the 9-yard line. It's going to be 1st and goal, MTCS. An opportunity for a score here. Hoffbauer inside to Green. Green lowers his head. Will get little to nothing. 1 minute to go, 1st quarter, clock running. Cougars on the doorstep in a 13-0 hole as Buckner comes back out onto the field. Off this time will come Trey Hickey. Green gets it down to the 8-yard line, so a gain of 1. It's 2nd and goal. 36 seconds in the 1st quarter. They'll get one more play off as Tanner Green motions. And Hoffbauer is going to keep it himself. Hoffbauer cutting up into a scrum and is going to get tackled for a little to no gain. It'll be 3rd down and goal. Looking for blocking and not much there, Jeremy.
Not at this point, and down there that close, everything gets a lot more bunched up. Makes it a lot tougher.
So Brian Stewart and the Cougars may be content to let the 1st quarter clock run out here. 6 seconds to go, and it doesn't look like there's a play coming to the huddle. And that will end the 1st quarter here at the stable with the champions leading the Cougars 13-0. The Cougars, though, have a 3rd down and goal at the 8. So we'll step aside for just a moment. We want to thank you for watching Cougar football on the TSSAA network. I may not have a choice. So we'll flip ends of the field as the 2nd quarter gets underway. Welcome back to Cougar football. Cougars on the doorstep with a chance to cut this deficit. Currently 13-0 Cascade with the lead. Fast-moving 1st quarter clock gets us to a 3rd down and goal situation for MTCS on the Cascade 8. Justin Wynn, Austin Melton, Oakley Starling. Split out to the left. Tanner Green, the tailback. Brent Hoffbauer, the quarterback. Trey Hickey, single receiver to the far side. This is Hoffbauer looking to pass. Going to go into the end zone, and it's going to be off the hands of Justin Wynn and incomplete. Right in his wheelhouse, hit him right in the shoulder pads. Justin Wynn letting that come into his body. You got to catch it out in front with your hands, and that would have been 6. Instead, it's 4th down and goal now.
And obviously a go-for-goal situation here.
The Kansas Cougars put up their first points of the night right here and cut the lead. Trip receivers, 1 tight end. This is Tanner Green in motion. And flags down, play a stop. This is an offensive penalty. What's your play call, Jeremy Smith? It'll back you up to the 13.
I'd say, give yourself a little more room. Just spread the receivers out and try to find something in the end zone.
And it is indeed on the Cougars a false start. So now it's 4th down and goal from the 13-yard line. And the Cougars waiting for a play. And the Cougars having to take their second BVI group printing timeout. Play clock was running, and they didn't have a play ready.
I just want to real quickly remind you the second quarter brought to you by Middle Tennessee Christian School. From pre-K through high school, MTCS ensures your child a quality education and a Christian environment. Go to mtcscougars.org to find out more. Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
So if you're Cascade, Jeremy, you're really happy with where you are right now. Up 13, early second quarter, and holding them inside your red zone.
With it being 4th down and goal from the 13.
Yeah, the Cougars obviously going to go for it here. If they cannot get into the end zone, that's just going to be an even bigger boost for Cascade.
Exactly. Quick score update, 12-0 Laverne now over Oakland. 14-0 Riverdale over Smyrna, and Siegel still leading Blackman right now, 7-0. Another score of note. I don't know if anybody was there or heard about it Thursday night. MTSU at home against McNeese State, losing to an FCS school, McNeese State. So definitely looks like it might be a long season, at least early on, for the Blue Raiders.
27-21 the final in Murfreesboro. And after a 2-10 season in 2011, not what the Blue Raider faithful were hoping for. 4th and 13. Hoffbauer deep into the corner, overthrew Oakley Starling, and the ball goes over on downs.
And that's what we were talking about before the game. You have to take advantage of the opportunities you are given.
So Hoffbauer starts out 7 for 8 passing. He has missed on his last 4.
Very streaky, very streaky.
And now the defense goes back to work, and Cascade now in a bit of a hole at their old 13-yard line. Starling had separation in the corner of the end zone. Hoffbauer just put a little bit too much mustard on it. So Sulcer now with Creed Rose in the Cascade offensive backfield. This is Rose getting a carry, being dragged down as he gets across the 20-yard line by 68 Sam Mathis. So a pickup of 7 yards on 1st down for Creed Rose. It's 2nd down and 3 just across the 20-yard line at the 21 for Cascade. Sulcer and Rose running that read option offense. Sulcer has the option to give it to Rose or pull it out quickly and take it himself, depending on the position of the defensive end. Lots of protection for Sulcer in the backfield. He is a freshman. Sulcer being pressured, being sacked.
There he is.
Kyle Howard there. Sam Mathis there. Along with Chris Collins. A big defensive play for the Cougars. Pushes the ball back inside the 15-yard line for Cascade. It'll be 3rd down and 9.
So an excellent defensive pressure there, filling the gaps. One of those keys to the game. They did it right there.
Sulcer looking to pass and decided to tuck it and run with it, but too late. Now this is he on 3rd down, being pressured and blown up in the backfield. Philip Barnaby with the sack.
The pressure is coming aplenty the last 2 plays. Excellent defensive possession there for this MTCS football team.
Barnaby with the corner blitz brings down Sulcer hard. And it's 4th down for Cascade, deep in their own territory, inside the 10 at the 7.
And Sulcer never saw him coming at all, coming from his blind side.
Now Bonavie trying to race off. No flags thrown as both Cascade and MTCS were trying to get players off the field. Nice high hanging punt. Wynn is going to field it at the Cascade 42. Wynn trying to cut outside, makes a good cut inside, spins out of a tackle. Wynn at the 25. Wynn tripped up as he gets near the 20-yard line. What a run by Justin Wynn, and a great effort on both sides of the ball by MTCS.
This is the time they have to punch it in. They have to punch it in on this possession. You're not going to get better field position starting out than this right here.
Ball's going to be marked just inside the 20, inside the orange zone to start this drive for MTCS. Hoffbauer and Green in the backfield. Melton to the far side. Starling, Hickey, and Wynn to the near side. Give to Green. Green ducking his head. No gain. Going to be a short loss. Going to be second down. Green a bit tentative when he gets to the line. Green stutter stepping, waiting for the hit instead of delivering it and pushing forward. He is a freshman. He will get better.
Buckner into the game for Melton.
We're going to give Tanner Green a loss of about 1 on the play. Second down and 11. Now just outside the orange zone for MTCS. Hoffbauer to throw. Hoffbauer looking left, inside. He's got Wynn, who fumbles the football. Fumbles inside the 20, and it's been fallen on by Cascade. A turnover and a flag.
After such a great defensive job by this MTCS team to turn it over right there. That hurts.
Wynn just absolutely furious with himself. Good cut inside after he caught the ball, looking for more yardage. Just left the ball exposed for too long, and it got ripped right out of his hands. Refs discussing this flag that's thrown right at the 19-yard line, the same as the spot of the ball. So will it be third down for MTCS or will it be first down for Cascade?
It's a
face mask on Cascade. They will keep possession of the ball, but the ball will go half the distance to the goal. They're going to start on offense with it first down inside their own 10.
No, Jason, I believe MTCS is keeping possession here.
Well, we'll take that too.
I say that just because I see Brent Hoffbauer still on the field, so.
Now, if the face mask caused the fumble, then yes, MTCS would stay with possession.
And that must be what they're saying because
they're obviously in a huddle, so that means the offense is still on the field. So a personal foul face mask on Cascade. Ball moves inside the 15 to the 12, possibly the 11. Closer to the 11.
So the Cougars definitely got bailed out a little bit there with the penalty.
And they're calling it third down, so Cougars keep possession. Cougars needed a break, and they got one. And it's still going to be third down.
The only confusing part about that, usually personal fouls result in automatic first downs, but
yes,
that's the only thing that throws me off a little bit, but nonetheless third down 3.
Well, they're going to call it second down.
Oh, we're second down.
Hoffbauer looks to throw. Going way over the head and intercepted in and out of the hands of his intended receiver. Going to be intercepted by Cascade inside the 5. Hoffbauer, the only man that can catch him, and he will not. This is going to be returned all the way for a Cascade touchdown by number 1, Demanya Jones. Wow. Wow.
That was close to a 100-yard interception return for a score.
Yeah, Cascade will have to look at their record books for that one. That was inside the 5.
Talk about a shift of momentum. MTCS going in and immediately the other way.
Hoffbauer a little bit high on that pass. Couldn't see who the Cougar receiver was. When it rains, it pours, Jeremy.
That close to possibly making it a 13-7 game. Now close to being 20-0 in favor of the home team.
Snap down, kick on the way, and that kick is good. Sutton tacks on another extra point, and just like that, 8:20 to go in the first half, it's 20-0 Cascade. Just a dagger to the fans and to the players. What do we have to do to put points up on the board?
You get so close so many times, but something like that usually happens and really just costs them big time. And it really costs them big time right there.
So the Cougars have to recover now, get ready to go back on offense. But Jeremy Smith, let's look at it optimistically. The defensive effort last week and this, miles ahead of where this team was in all of 2011 and in week 0 of this year.
Oh, absolutely. Excuse me. Absolutely, no question about it. I mean, you've seen the growth in this team, and especially a week ago at home in front of the home crowd and against Ezel Harding. It's just obviously still a very youthful team, and they still have a lot of growing up to do and a lot of growing pains coming with that.
So another short kickoff going to be fielded by an upback for MTCS. That's Melton. Austin Melton gets it inside Cascade territory.
So great field position here to start, but again, that's usually the thing for MTCS. Great field position usually comes plenty for this Cougar offense. You just have to translate that into a score.
At the Cascade 45, the Cougars start their drive. Here in the second quarter, down 20-0. Once again, looking for points. Shake off the previous interception, go back to work. Tanner Green, the standing tailback. This is Hickey in motion. Fake to Tanner Green. Hoffbauer rolling. Throwing over the head of Melton, incomplete. Outside of the tackle box. No intentional grounding. It's going to be second down.
That was a much better option than forcing it in there.
And apparently there was a flag thrown on the play. Going to be ineligible receiver downfield on MTCS. Thrown right at the line of scrimmage, the 45. And the side judge explaining it to Coach Brian Stewart. And the penalty was declined by Cascade, so it's second down and 10. Hoffbauer give to Green. Green just stood up at the 50-yard line and forced back.
Loss of about 4.
Offensive line open like the Red Sea, and there was no room for Tanner Green. Back to the midfield stripe, just inside Cougar territory. Loss of 5. It's third down and 15 for the Cougars. We talked to Coach Sharp before the game, Jeremy, in answer to your question in week 0, who's going to step up and be the vocal leader of this team? And according to Coach Sharp, right now, there isn't one. And we're into week 2 now, 3 games into the season.
It's definitely not good when you don't have that guy that can be the vocal leader to rally the troops when times
Here comes the blitz. Hoffbauer, throwback over the head of Tanner Green. Pressure right in Hoffbauer's face, and he had to get rid of it. Looking for the quick throwback screen to Tanner Green, and it's incomplete. It's going to be fourth down now.
So again, brings up a situation where MTCS again gets good field position to start, can't capitalize on it. That's the thing in this sport. When you're given such good field position by the short kickoffs, by those, squib kicks, and you're starting in opponent territory, you've got to find a way to take advantage of that. Traveling less than half the field, get that ball in the end zone.
Quick kick by Hoffbauer. Nice roll. The Cougars are going to get down there before it gets inside the 10, but it's going to die right at the 10-yard line. So Cascade's backed up again to start this possession with a 20-0 lead in the ball game. 6:59 left in the first half.
Go
ahead. Sorry,
I'm sorry. 7 minutes ago in the second quarter. It honestly feels like MTCS has had the ball the majority of this game, but just have had no points to show for it.
Yeah, I mean, time of possession is definitely tilted in favor of MTCS. Cascade's just been reeling off big plays on both sides of the ball.
The interception return, the big runs. I mean, it's just when they score quickly, and that's why time of possession, like you said, is definitely one-sided right now.
And this is Rose straight up the middle, being brought down by the shoelaces. Braden Melton, the middle linebacker, getting a tackle in this game. Rose gets it up to the 15-yard line, gain of 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5 for Cascade. $19 Combs and 13 Allen Craig. Receivers to the near side for Cascade. Rose again, the tailback, with Sulcer. There's that read play. This is Rose again. Rose powering forward, tripped up as he gets close to the 25-yard line.
Rose is extremely strong.
It's going to be 3rd down and short for Cascade. Now they're going to call it a 1st down. He pushed it over the 35, over the 25-yard line. Well, apparently not. The ball is back at the 23-yard line. They're going to call it a 1st down. So 1st down, Cascade at their own 23-yard line. Sulcer inside to Rose again. Rose looking to bounce it outside. Rose finding a hole. Rose being taken down as he gets across the 25. Flag in the backfield as he's brought down by Frank Roberts.
That's an area you would expect a holding call.
.601 to go in the half. 20-0 Cascade leads. The defense is learning how to grind it out play after play. And then every so often they'll get hit on one big play.
Right.
And that's how teams are beating them thus far. Is that one big play on every other possession, and it's just enough.
Blake Smotherman a week ago, several big plays. And then tonight so far, running back Creed Rose with big plays, especially that one big run where it looked like he was dead to rights at the line of scrimmage and broke away and was gone.
Well, it's not like we've seen last year, Jeremy, big play after big play after big play on the same drive. The Cougars have been able to stretch out these plays, get some sacks. You know, they're the defense miles ahead of where they were a year ago.
Oh, no question.
And it's 1st down now and 12 for Cascade. Sulcer, Rose again. Head down, burrowing forward across the 25. So it must have been a downfield hold as the penalty only cost him 2 yards. And Rose picks that up and more up to the 27-yard line. It's going to be 2nd down at about 6 yards to go for Cascade. Second quarter clock runs under 5.5 minutes. 20-0 Cascade in this District 9A contest. Sulcer in the shotgun at quarterback. Gone all the way. Creed Rose again. Creed Rose breaking tackles. Still on his feet. Across the 35, across the 40, across the 50. One man to beat. Being chased, being tackled by Kyle Howard and by Austin Melton, who loses his helmet. But it's another huge gain for Creed Rose. And Justin Wynn, Jeremy Smith, the effort on that tackle a bit lacking.
One of the most impressive things so far I've noticed out of Creed Rose, it's not his speed, it's not his agility, it's his pure strength. The way he can break off tackles, get through piles, and just keep motoring forward. I mean, this guy is very strong, and he's very tough to bring down.
And add to that a good balance.
Exactly.
Low center of gravity.
So we got a timeout, Cascade.
4:54 to go, first half. Cascade with the ball just outside the Cougar 35. Jeremy Smith, Hoffbauer started out 7 of 8 passing. Since then, I know he's thrown the interception.
0 for 7.
with that interception. So you're absolutely correct. Streaky.
We've seen that last week, too. He started off very strong at halftime. I believe he was 7 of 12. And then as the second half progressed, just really got a cold spell and just couldn't find receivers in the open field. Another score update here, 18-7, Laverne over Oakland. 14-0 Siegel over Blackman still, 21-6 Riverdale over Smyrna.
Smyrna having a down year so far.
Definitely so.
So first down, this is Rose again. Ride your horse. Rose breaking it to the outside. Rose at the 20, Rose at the 15, now near the 10, where he's finally wrapped up by Chaz Chaffin. I mean, you're not going to tackle him up high, Jeremy Smith, and when you're trying to tackle him low, that balance comes into play, and he's just motoring through people.
People try to tackle his feet, he just steps through them. Like you said, when they try to tackle him up high, he just stiff arms him and knocks him out of the way.
At the Cougar 12, first down and 10 for Cascade, already with a 20-0 lead and looking for more. Rose again, straight up the middle. Popped hard by Tanner Green, but pushes forward inside the 10. Tanner Green, the first Cougar there. Assisted down in the pile by Kyle Howard.
And the worst part about it, Jason, Creed Rose, only a sophomore. MTCS has to face him 2 more years, should he not transfer to another school, 2 more years. So once the Kharkovs leave, then they get an elite running back. So it just seems like the talent just continues to grow.
The rich get richer in War Trace.
Yep.
Second down, about 5 now. Sulcer and Rose in the backfield with Cody Smith. Quick out now. Incomplete pass through the hands of his intended receiver, Zach DeMumbrian. So third down and 5 now for Cascade. At the Cougars' 6-yard line. They can get a first down inside the 1. But they must convert here on third down. Offset I to the right for Sulcer. Straight ahead, powering with Creed Rose, who's going to be stacked up as he gets close to the 5-yard line. It's going to be very close to a first down. So Rose stopped for a short gain that time. He's going to bring up fourth down.
And obviously you're going to expect him to go for it here.
Trent Sutton can make a chip shot field goal here, but with Creed Rose, you're going to ride your horse. Fourth down for Cascade at the Cougar 4-yard line. Sulcer running, giving to Rose. Rose is going to power in for a touchdown, standing up. It's 26-0. 3 minutes to go in the half. And the Cougars starting to let it slip away here a little bit, Jeremy.
Yeah, unfortunately so. They've had chances on offense, but have not converted. And when Cascade has been given those chances, they've definitely rode their horse, Creed Rose, and have gotten in the end zone now 4 times here in the first half.
Sutton on for yet another PAT. It's up, and he shanks it to the right. It's no good. So 26-0. Three minutes to work on offense in the half. Cougars looking for something, anything, to get them on the board and get them some confidence back.
So it's definitely tough after coming off of in a game where they really played quite well for much of the game against Ezel Harding. Coming back and just really not seeming like they're all in this one, to this point. They've had some chances. They've looked good in little points, just haven't converted whenever they've been given those chances on offense, and therefore when you don't convert, you get yourself behind the 8 ball because Cascade, when they have the ball, they're more than likely going to score many times, and that's what they've done.
But you never want to think that a team comes into a game expecting to lose. I mean, that is like a cardinal sin for a team. This Cougar team, though, coming into this game on the road at a team that they have never beaten. Now, some kind of doubt has to slip in.
In fact, they've come close a few times here.
In years past, they have had the lead at halftime on Cascade and failed to get the win.
The most memorable game, 2008, at home at Throberry Stadium against Cascade. One of the most memorable games of that year in our tenure, really, of broadcasting for these Cougars. Came up short by 7, but definitely a fantastic game.
Well, Sutton's going to get it a little deeper this time. Going to be stopped by Harper and picked up by Wynn, who's got a good seam as he gets across the 30-yard line.
Seems like automatic 30-yard line is where the Cougars have been starting, or better.
Well, the kicking in this district, not really what it has been in years past.
No.
Of course, the Cougars lose Trevor Brunsvold, and several teams in the district. A youth movement is on at almost all of the District 9A teams, and a lot of the teams outside of the district, the Nashville Christians, the Cosbys, the Mount Juliet Christians, have really never had a kicking game to speak of.
True.
So you see a lot of two-point conversion tries. You see a lot of fourth down offense going on.
And then, of course, a lot of missed extra points.
Right. It's just Tennessee high school football, Jeremy. This is Buckner now in motion. Hoffbauer gets the snap.
That's a false start on Buckner.
Hoffbauer going to be shoved out of bounds as he gets up near the 40-yard line, but this is going to come back. Buckner in motion. Got to get the timing down a little bit better.
Right. He never got set before the ball was snapped, and they're going to get him for a false start moving early.
Just misfiring in all aspects here tonight, Jeremy. It's got to be disheartening.
Turnovers, penalties, lack of execution on offense and converting whenever you're given those chances. It's definitely disappointing because there's been moments so far in this half where you really thought they were going to have a chance to get it in the end zone, but so far it's not to be.
So first down and 15 now from their own 26-yard line. 2:42 to go in the first half. Cougars in a 26-0 hole to the champions of Cascade. Hoffbauer, inside give. Here's Green. Green runs into his counterpart in number, Dakota Vaught. A short gain by Green. Green's going to push it up to the 27-yard line, give him a gain of 1.
Second down, 14 to go, MTCS.
Hoffbauer going to fake it. Quick out, here's Buckner. Cutting it back inside, lowering his head. Going to get across the 25-yard line. Back up to the original line, or back up to the 27-yard line. It's going to be no gain. It's going to be third down and 14. So backwards pass for Hoffbauer. That's going to be a run for Buckner for 0. Trey Hickey checks into the game now for Peyton Buckner.
Third down, 15 to go.
1:25 in the first half. Remaining, clock running. Another third down facing MTCS here. 4 receiver set. Green in the backfield. Hoffbauer looking to throw. Going to chuck it up deep and is going to be nearly intercepted, but incomplete.
That was up for grabs.
Alan Craig looking for the pick, and Trey Hickey, when you're a receiver and you have to play defense, not a good thing. Another fourth down upcoming for MTCS, and we should see Hoffbauer kick it away. 1:09 to go in the half. So Cascade some time to work with big Creed Rose and the freshman Sulzer in the backfield at quarterback.
And we know they can score quick.
Hoffbauer shanks it again. This time off the inside of his foot. It's going to roll just outside the 35-yard line.
So this sets it up even better for Cascade.
1:02 now for Cascade to work.
Like you said, Jason, when it rains, it pours.
You never want to question a team's effort, Jeremy Smith, but do you think the Cougars might be looking forward to next week's game and a trip to the Smoky Mountains to face Cosby?
At this point, with the way this game is going, it very well may be.
Well, Vaught now in at running back, and it is he who will get this carry straight up the middle, across the 35, inside the 30 of MTCS.
But Kyle Howard leading the way on that tackle, I believe, when they unpile. Yes.
So the champions content to run the clock here. Sam Mathis comes off the field with a helmet issue. We've seen a lot of Cougars losing their helmets here tonight, Jeremy.
Yes, we have. I don't know if they're just too loose or chin strap's not working right or what, but definitely got to get on that.
He's replaced by Bryson Hamrick, who stacks up Dakota Vaught and gets in on the tackle. Chris Collins with the tackle there.
A little shocked that Cascade isn't trying to really go down the field and get a score here.
Well, clock stops with 23 seconds. This may be the last play of the half as Vaught's going to stay in at tailback. Cascade picked up the first down. This is Sulzer. This is going to be another handoff to Vaught. Vaught trying to break outside, going to be dragged down as he gets across the 25 down near the 20. On the tackle, Griffin Harper.
And that's going to be it for the half.
So the first half in Wartrace comes to a close. The Cougars in a bit of a hurting situation, down 26-0 to district rival Cascade. You're watching Cougar football on the TSSAA network. Come back for the second half. The sounds of Jeremy Smith adjusting his microphone as we come back for the second half of MTCS versus Cascade. Glad you are with us. And Jeremy Smith, I'm going to give you the task of going over the first half stats for MTCS.
Yikes.
Such as they are.
Not a whole lot to speak of at this point. 49 yards of total offense in the first 24 minutes. Break that down, that's almost 2 yards a minute. Not good. 6 carries, 9 yards for Tanner Green. Brent Hoffbauer started off hot, but he finished 7 of 16 for 34 yards and that INT that was returned almost 100 yards for a score. Austin Melton also tallied in 3 catches for 25 yards. On defense, a couple of guys that stepped up. Kyle Howard and Sam Mathis shared a sack, and also Philip Bonamy got a sack. And those came on back-to-back plays in the first quarter. So we're about ready to start the second half here.
Cascade will receive the football to start us out here, already leading 26-0. And we'll see what kind of adjustments Brian Stewart and Kenny Parker have made to their respective teams at the break. And we'll have Philip Bonamy doing the honors for MTCS and kicking off.
Got an announcement next week for the Cougars at Cosby High School. Jay and I won't be there. You will hear a broadcast, but it will be from another group of Cougars. I believe Carl Mathis will be in on that broadcast for you next Friday night.
Carl Mathis does a good job with the junior high games, so we hear.
Almost like an onside kick there.
Yeah, onside style kick by Bonamy, recovered at the Cascade 45 by Tristan Solomon. So good field position for the champions to start their first drive of the second half. And it is Chandler Sulzer, the freshman, going to stay in at quarterback. Dakota Vaught in at running back, along with 20 Cody Smith. So the same formations we saw at the end of the first half. That's how the champions start the second half. 1st and 10 from their own 45. Pitch to Vaught, coming to the right. Vaught cutting it back, spinning, breaking a tackle, and taken down for a short gain of 1. He ran about 20 yards to gain 1. Brought down by a Cougar who hasn't got up off the pile yet. It's Austin Melton. Austin Melton, this is his game tonight. He's made several good catches, good plays on defense. Getting up rather slowly is Kyle Howard.
You got to wonder if something may be wrong with Creed Rose. Didn't see him out there on the last drive of the first half, or here on the first drive of the second half, or maybe the score has something to do with that.
All good possibilities. So 2nd down and 9 for Cascade. Early going here, second half. Champions with a 26-0 lead. This is Sulzer, the freshman. Going to give Vaught again. Straight up the middle, big hole. Cross midfield, ducking and stumbling and falling inside the 45 of MTCS down to the 42. It's a first down for Cascade. Dakota Vaught, slippery running back right up the middle.
We knew that last year whenever he played for this MTCS team as a backup to Stephen Brent. And in the offseason, all offseason, anticipated on him being the starting running back for this MTCS team. And when he transferred along with his brother, really threw a wrench in the mix for this Cougar team, trying to scramble to find their starting tailback.
His brother is the starting center here, and it is Dakota once again, straight up the middle, brought down from behind by Braden Melton as he gets inside the 40-yard line. Another good gain for Vaught on first down.
Now, obviously, there's been a lot of turnover for this MTCS team. The biggest hole that you can see, though, on this team is in the running game. Obviously, with the departure of Stephen Brent, who put up a monster season a year ago, you're going to have some struggles, and you don't have that go-to guy that you've had really for the past 5 years, or past 7, 8 years with Dylan Wade and then Stephen Brent.
Vaught tripped up in the backfield, still waiting to be brought down. Gavin Burgess tripped him up. Vaught regained his balance, and then Gavin Burgess in on the end of the play to help clean up, along with Philip Bonamy. So a loss for Vaught. Back outside the 40-yard line. No, excuse me, just inside the 40-yard line. And it'll be 3rd down and 7 for Cascade. Chance for the defense to get a stop as Frank Roberts gets checked out on the sidelines by the trainer. And the jet sweep works to perfection, but flags fly. The running back brought down by Melton and Chaz Chaffin. That is Zach DeMumbrium.
And they were all thrown right around the same time.
One's at the 40-yard line, one at the 39, and one at the 34. From all sides of the formation. So DeMumbrium picking up enough for a Cascade first down. But depending on the call, looks like they're going to have to do it over again. And a chop block.
I want to real quickly remind you, this third quarter is brought to you by thisiscougarfootball.com. After our broadcast ends, you can still keep up with the Cougars, read game previews, reviews, see stats, news, updates, and more, all from our comprehensive website. Thisiscougarfootball.com provides you with everything you need to be a Cougar fan. Log on today and get into the action.
Ball's going to come all the way back to the Cougar 48-yard line.
That's a big loss there.
Yeah, that was a hold of some kind. The 10-yard penalty, and now it's third down at about 17 for Cascade. So the jet sweep ends up costing Cascade and a holding penalty.
And Creed Rose back in the game.
Here comes DeMumbrium on the jet motion again. And this is inside to Creed Rose. Stiff arm. Knocked down for a short gain for Creed Rose inside the 45 down to the 42-yard line.
Isn't that crazy? When he gained 6 yards, that's a short gain.
We found out at halftime, Jeremy, Creed Rose, a sophomore, he is 18 years old and a sophomore in high school.
Kind of remarkable.
And apparently been a thorn in the side of all these football teams since his junior high days. So a fourth down here for Cascade. And they will punt for only the second time here tonight.
Good punt.
Wynn is going to let it roll. And it's going to roll down near the goal line. And it's going to be stopped by Cascade at the 2-yard line.
Wynn decided to let that go. It did not take a big enough bounce. And Cougars are in terrible field position at this point. Going back to what I was saying about the running backs this Cougar team has had, since we've been broadcasting in 2008, this Cougar team has had the likes of Dylan Wade, Stephen Brent, Nathan Coates, R.J. Miller, and Asa Bowman. All fantastic running backs. This Cougar team is yet to find that go-to guy that those other teams had, and they need to find him.
Now, over the last 5 years that we've been doing this, Jeremy, all of the names that you just listed have come in as sophomores, juniors, seniors.
True.
We've never had to deal with upperclassmen. Hoffbauer going to just kind of run it straight ahead, taking a rare snap from under center. And they'll give him a gain up to the 4. So call it a gain of 1 yard for Brent Hoffbauer. It's going to be second down and 9. Tanner Green now trying to get off the field. And now the Cougars come to the line. Braden Melton in the backfield with Hoffbauer and Buckner. This is Hoffbauer to throw. Hoffbauer going deep, looking for Wynn, and it is incomplete. Nearly intercepted again by Alan Craig.
That was definitely not a smart decision there by Brent.
So now third down and 9, deep in your own territory. .7:22 to go, third quarter. Score remains 26-0 in favor of the champions. And just the vibe tonight, Jeremy, just seems kind of off.
It does, and with the Cougars not even on the scoreboard at this point and almost halfway through the third, just hasn't been the night that this Cougar team has hoped for, and unfortunately, they won't get to go home next week and try and heal their wounds for practice maybe, but going back on the road, like you said, all the way to extreme East Tennessee to play Cosby High School for the second year in a row on the road.
So third down. And this will be Green coming to the left and not getting much. Going to be stacked up for no gain. Well, check that. Peyton Buckner getting the run there. So it's fourth down now. Now, Jeremy, we saw number 7, Sam Brown, getting some good punts off in pregame.
We really did.
But they've gone with Hoffbauer in these quick kicks, and this is a situation where Cascade's definitely going to try to block it. Hoffbauer this time gets a good punt away. Going to get just outside the 30 and take a Cascade roll back inside the 30-yard line at about the 27.
So excellent field position once again.
Cascade held on their last drive. Forced a punt. Now Creed Rose will come back in.
First down, 10 to go for Cascade from the 26-yard line.
So a big challenge for the Cougar defense here with Sulcer, Smith, and Rose in the backfield. This is Rose, straight ahead, being knocked around, being pushed forward. Now he fumbled the football. The beanbags have been thrown. Who's got it?
Creed Rose on the carry.
And it's going to be second down.
By Braden Melton.
Braden Melton with the tackle, not able to take the ball away from Cascade, and Rose still picks up 7 yards.
Dakota Vaught into the game.
Just over 6 minutes to go, third quarter. Straight ahead, Vaught. Vaught with a big hole. Going to cut to the outside and tripped up by Braden Melton. He's going to pick up the first down for Cascade, though, inside the Cougar 20-yard line. At right about the 17. So first and 10 in the red zone once again for Cascade. Vaught's going to stay in at running back. Demumbrium split out wide to the right for Cascade, along with Matthew Combs. Vaught inside again. Vaught, tough running.
Keeps on
stacked
going.
up. Finally brought down as he gets near the 10-yard line. Melton in on another tackle, making his presence felt. So they're going to mark the ball inside the 10 at the 8. Give Vaught a gain of about 6. So they're inside the 10-yard line, looking for more points to add on to this 26-0 lead. Clock counts in the third quarter, 5:07. Vaught again, and this time he's stacked up for no gain.
Saw Kyle Howard in there.
And Braden Melton again. So Melton in on 4 straight tackles, Jeremy.
Yeah, he's definitely making his presence known, like you said, out there.
And there is a good vibe about number 42, Jeremy. Dominated in the junior high ranks, and nothing but good things expected out of young Braden Melton. As we said last week, could be the next Devin Brunsvold type player on this team. Combs had it and dropped it, and they're going to call it an incomplete pass. That was really close, treading that line between forward pass and backward pass. But they're going to say it was a forward pass and incomplete, and now it's fourth down for Cascade.
Wouldn't expect anything less than going for it.
Now the problem there was Combs, again, was wide open, and they scored on that play early on in this game. So another fourth down here for Cascade. Vaught in the backfield. And this is he, getting the ball, pushing forward, lowering his head, getting inside the 5. He's going to pick up the first down. It'll be first down and goal for Cascade at about the 3-yard line of MTCS. So Cascade knocking on the door once again. Vaught still the running back. Sulcer sacked.
Good defensive play there. It looked like Austin Melton, Peyton Buckner.
Melton comes up gimpy. Another one of your sophomore receivers.
I think that's actually Peyton coming up gimpy there.
5 and 9.
They blend together, I understand.
My mistake. Yes, Buckner with the sack on Sulcer. That's 3 sacks tonight on the Cascade signal caller. The defense, not the issue here in Wartrace for MTCS. Vaught straight ahead. Vaught going to burrow forward and score a Cascade touchdown. And the champions extend the lead. It is now 32-0.
It's approaching the Mercy Rule score here pretty soon. 35 points, 35-point lead, and that's when that clock will continue to run.
Will only stop for timeouts and changes of possession.
Exactly.
Trent Sutton on for another PAT try. Sulzer is the holder. Takes the snap. Fumbled the snap. Being chased. Sulzer rolling out to his left. And he's going to be cutting it up and taken down right about the 5-yard line. So a fumbled snap on the PAT try. Obviously no good. So the score remains 32-0. 3:18 to go in the third quarter. And the Cougars need to come back out on offense.
Do something to get themselves feeling good about themselves at this point.
And we said when Hoffbauer's first few passes were those quick screens, those swing passes, going sideways with the throws, that was when he got the majority of his yards. When he started going downfield, he ended up 0 of 8, 0 of 9 at the end of the first half with that long interception. So maybe something to say for going back to the quick hitting passes, making a play out of the backfield, and relying on your downfield blocking.
Please support this family, and any food donations can be dropped off at the Bell Buffalo Cafe.
Peyton Buckner being helped up by the trainer on the sideline. Looks like he's going to be all right. Good to see. So Sutton has shown him various styles of kickoff tonight. He's gone the short onside route. He's gone power. And this time he goes for power. He's going to be fielded by an upback. It's going to be Tanner Green who's going to lower his head, get up near the 40-yard line. Good field position once again for the Cougars.
And again, that's normally not the issue with this MTCS team in 2012 so far.
Yeah. Special teams and defense have been the strengths.
That offense just really, I mean, and you see the strengths of the offense at times, but when you don't really have a running game to balance it out and to really give a load off of the quarterback in the passing game, really makes it tough. I mean, this is week number 2, game number 3, and, I mean, to be honest, the running game has been pretty much non-existent to this point. Batted up in the air.
And batted by Dakota Vaught. So an incomplete pass. Looking on the play for Oakley Starling, sitting right down in that hole in the zone. But for naught, as it's second down now. Cougars with the ball just inside their own 40-yard line. Tanner Green coming out. Hoffbauer in the backfield, takes the snap, looking to throw, going deep, got 2 receivers over there.
Really, that was a tough one to get to. You look, Trey Hickey was the man intended for, but it was definitely overthrown and incomplete.
If Hoffbauer is going to miss him, he's going to miss him high. And again, not your typical prototype quarterback. Having trouble seeing over those big offensive linemen and those defensive players that can get into his face,
right,
causing him to change the angle of his release, and that ball sails high on him. So third down and 10 for MTCS. On their own 39, Hoffbauer rolling out to his left, going to throw back again, overshoots Tanner Green. Hoffbauer just not on target tonight.
So a quick 3 and out here, and MTCS is forced to punt the ball away.
So Hoffbauer getting set to kick it away for MTCS. Champions look like they may rush him, and they are. Nearly blocked.
They may have got a piece of that.
Hoffbauer's kick goes straight up in the air and takes a big Champion bounce. A flag is thrown on the sideline, on the far Cascade sideline, excuse me. Now, that may have just been the referee marking the spot that the ball went out, or it may actually be a penalty. Referee has got a flag and a beanbag tucked into his belt. Maybe grabbed the wrong one. Head referee over talking to his linesman who threw the penalty flag. The coaching staff for Cascade right there around him. And they're waving off the penalty.
We have 2:36 to go here in this third quarter. 32-0 your score in favor of the Champions, who look to go to 3-0 overall this year.
And more importantly, 1-0 in District 9A.
Yes.
Eagleville played Moore County last night in Eagleville and lost to the Raiders 25-20. So not at all the follow-up to an undefeated regular season that head coach Steve Carson was looking for. New back in the game is 33 for Cascade, Brady Parker, a freshman.
Brady Parker on the carry for Cascade.
Number 3, Baron Hoffmeister in at quarterback now as Kenny Parker looks to be rotating in some of his second-string players. Dylan Vaught still the starting center. Kind of a surprise from Kenny Parker this year. Last year versus the Cougars in Murfreesboro, he left his starters in into the fourth quarter on the route to a 55-7 blowout of MTCS. This year, giving his younger players a little bit more experience a little earlier. This is Hoffmeister giving inside to the freshman Parker once again, and he is stacked up and thrown back. And that's Melton, Braden Melton, and you can see glimpses of the player that he may become in the future.
And he's only a freshman.
And unfortunately, you can say that phrase about a lot of Cougars this year.
There's a bad thing and a good thing about that. The bad thing, obviously, they are so young. The good thing, can you imagine who they are going to become, the players they can become next year, the year following, and the year following that.
The good thing is they're so young. The bad thing is they're so young.
Yeah.
This is Hoffmeister going to pass over for Alan Craig. Falls incomplete. It's going to be fourth down for Cascade. So this may be an opportunity for MTCS to get on the board here. 1:11 to go in the third quarter. It's 32-0 Cascade. Vaught still on the field here. As 12, Lance Parker comes in and drops into what we would assume would be a punt formation. Getting ready to kick away. Justin Wynn stands back at his own 20-yard line to field it. Now he's standing back at his own 16 as he backs up to the 15. Stop walking, Justin. Dakota Vaught now coming onto the field looking lost. Now comes in as a personal protector. High snap. Parker gets it down, though. End over end kick that Wynn is going to come up and field at his own 20-yard line.
There's a flag back here at the 43.
Wynn going to get across the 25-yard line on the return. But a flag thrown back at the 43. In the area you would expect to hold. The Cougars will accept this if that is the case. They're going to wave off the flag this time as well. Some ref needs to come pick up his flag over here on the Cougar 42-yard line. So Wynn got the ball right up to the 25-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 MTCS from there. Hoffbauer and Chaz Chaffin coming out to the huddle with the play as the ref finally comes and grabs his laundry. Just under a minute to go in the third quarter. Cascade now rotating in some of their second string players.
1st and 10 Cougars from the 25-yard line.
Chaffin now in motion. Hoffbauer going to keep it himself, looking for a block. Slips the tackle. Going to get up across the 25, up close to the 30. Going to be a gain of about 4 for Brent Hoffbauer. Up to the 29-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 6 for MTCS. So this is Chaffin in the backfield.
Oh.
The ball's been fumbled. Where is it? And it falls right into the arms of Bryson Hamrick. So a bad exchange there between Hoffbauer and his running back. Look.
Chaffin hasn't had really a whole lot of carries this year. So a little bit of inexperience maybe coming into play there as the end of the third quarter is upon us.
So 32-0 heading into the last 12 minutes. MTS may want to think about substituting in some players.
Yeah, with the score being the way it is,
getting them some experience,
right,
and getting some reps in and getting ready for Cosby next week.
Exactly. Now while we're waiting on the start of the fourth quarter here, while we got a break here, the start of college football season is finally upon us. It started up last night, as we said a few moments ago. Again tonight, UT is playing, but really the full slate begins tomorrow. I mean, I know we're doing high school football, but we're football fans here. How do you see college football playing out here, and with the preseason polls being out, how do you think it'll shake out?
Well, I'll come right back at you if you want to start giving predictions. I'll ask you the questions. Who do you see in your national championship game?
I mean, you definitely could see a USC versus a Bama, a USC versus an LSU, and obviously I'm biased as a Georgia fan. I'd love to see, Georgia versus anyone in the national championship. But no, I think it can be a lot of fun though.
Absolutely. Do you think voters in the BCS ranks?
Only 2 more years of the BCS left, by the way.
That is true. That is true. It's something that a lot of people have wanted to see for a long time.
Yes.
Do you think a one-loss SEC team, given the fact they've won the last 6 national titles in the conference, would get into the national championship this game over an undefeated ACC team, undefeated Big East team? Do you think that the SEC is at a disadvantage that way?
I think they do, just because of by the strength of schedule, and we've seen it happen in the past where they've gotten in over an undefeated team from a lesser conference. And here we go, third down.
Hoffbauer back to throw. Going deep, there's Starling wide open, who juggles and makes the catch. It's a first down outside the 40-yard line.
That was close.
Hoffbauer's best throw of the night, right in the hands of Oakley Starling. Alan Craig on the tackle, but it's a first down for the Cougars.
Gain of about 16 yards on that play.
Up to the 43-yard line. So a nice way to start out the fourth quarter. Melton coming to the sideline now as Buckner checks into the game once again. Tanner Green, the standing tailback with Hoffbauer. 4 receiver set. Trey Hickey to the near side. Hoffbauer takes the low snap. Feeling pressure, going deep, right for Peyton Buckner, who makes a turn and then trips and falls. He's into Cascade territory. Could have had more, Jeremy, but this wet grass slipped him up.
Indeed it did, but it is a Cougar first down, and this drive is looking good. Now that the Cougars look like they're finally beginning to pass down the field, something they kind of stayed away from for a while, but something we've seen them have success with.
And Hoffbauer putting that ball right where it needs to be, just the right amount of touch on that one to drop it into the arms of Buckner. Buckner playing all positions here tonight.
Movement everywhere.
Who is this on? Defense jumped first into the neutral zone and caused the left tackle, Frank Roberts, to false start. So who are we going to call this on? Be 5 yards either way. Cougars automatically backing up here. Longer than necessary discussion here, Jimmy,
yeah.
You would think. It's going to be 5 yards either way. And it's a dead ball. And it's going to go against Cascade. So 5 free yards there for the offense. And we saw the defensive end come crashing through. And then Frank Roberts decided to false start, and that may have been what sealed it there in favor of MTCS. So the encroachment call gives MTCS a first down and 5 at the Cascade 41. Empty backfield for Hoffbauer. 5 receivers. Hoffbauer straight ahead, ducks a man, first down inside the 40, down near the 35-yard line.
Gain of 6 there for Hoff.
Good gain there for Hoffbauer out of the empty backfield, the design quarterback draw. moves the chains once again, and a good drive developing here for MTCS late in the ball game. 10:28, the clock counts in the fourth quarter. It's 32-0 Cascade, but the Cougars are driving. Tanner Green in the backfield this time with Hoffbauer. 4 receivers, 3 to the far side. Hoffbauer, quick out. There's Starling, who has a tip off his hands. Oakley Starling looking to run with the ball before he had it in his possession, and it's second down.
That one's tough.
Hoffbauer stringing together a couple of good passes. And that one on the shoulders of Oakley Starling for not reeling that one in. So Bryson Hamrick tonight has had a quiet night. They switched him from left guard over to right guard. And they found their center in sophomore Gavin Burgess.
Yes, they did after week 0.
Tanner Green slips through, busted to the outside. Tanner Green inside the 35, down near the 30. It's going to be third down and manageable. A good run by Tanner Green. That's his first good run in about a quarter and a half, Jeremy.
Yeah, they gained him 12 early on, and really since then he's been very quiet.
Down to the 32-yard line goes Green. It's going to be third down and a long 5, short 6 for MTCS. 9:43 clock counting in the ball game. 32-0 Cascade. Green again in the backfield. 3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Hoffbauer being pressured and going to be taken down outside the 40-yard line. In comes Combs, number 19, to take down Hoffbauer. It's going to be a big loss and a fourth down upcoming for MTCS.
At the time when you can't take a sack when it's third down and you have to convert, now it brings up an extremely difficult situation. Fourth down and long.
Combs came unblocked around the left side of the MTCS line, and Hoffbauer had no shot as Justin Wynn comes off the field.
Clay Mitchell in for him.
Empty backfield here, so you would expect Hoffbauer to kick it. And that he does. Angling towards the corner.
It's his best one of the night.
Going to be a good roll out of bounds at the 11-yard line. So Cascade will start with field position not really in their favor, but it hasn't stopped them thus far through 3.5 quarters.
Not to this point.
8:46 to go in the ball game. 32-0 Cascade with the lead. Looking to go to 3-0 on the year. And Jeremy Smith tonight, not something that the champions have really experienced thus far in 2012, having a lead to start with and then extending it and not really being challenged. They've had to fight hard and scratch and claw back to win in each of their first 2 contests against Mount Pleasant and Joe Burns.
Yeah, those first 2 games have been very difficult for them.
So this is Hoffmeister at quarterback now. Bad snap. Hoffmeister has it fall right into his arms, and he picks it up, but he's going to lose yardage back to the 7-yard line. So it'll be second down and 14.
Quick score update. Laverne's still over Oakland 18-7 late in the third quarter there. Siegel is really whipping up on Blackman right now, 35-7 in the third.
Those Siegel Stars are special this year.
And Coach Rick Stockstill's son,
Brent
Stockstill, starting quarterback for Siegel High School, and they were picked to do very well this year, and my goodness, they are running through the Blackman Blaze.
And a disappointing thing with Brent Stockstill, already put all the rumors to bed. He is not going to go to MTSU. As this Cascade running back is cut down as he gets outside the 25 and picks up a first down for Cascade. That is Brady Parker, the freshman.
Must not want to play for his dad.
Oh, Stockstill?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. This past offseason, just putting all the rumors to rest. I'm not going to play for my dad, so stop asking. You had to expect that question.
Oh, yeah, of course.
On a daily basis. So Hoffmeister with Parker in the backfield. A 3-receiver set and a tight end to the left for Cascade. On this first down play, low snap. This is Hoffmeister going to be running right into defensive tackle named Chris Collins for MTCS.
One thing you got to be concerned about for MTSU, going 2-10 last year, losing to a Division I AA school the other night. If he has another year like he did last year, he might be on the hot seat, possibly out of MTSU. I mean, obviously we don't know that, but back-to-back, poor seasons like that can get you in that position.
And it is such a 180-degree turn from
just
where
10-3
was just a couple of years ago.
Yeah. When Dwight Dasher was the quarterback in his junior year, the school went 10-3, won the New Orleans Bowl in the conference. changed so quickly.
Bumble on the play. Chaz Chaffin and Philip Bonnaby fighting down there for it, but it's going to be recovered by Cascade. Brady Parker and Hoffmeister down there fighting for it. Champions will keep possession. 6:38 to go in the game. It's third down and about 12.
And we saw that 180-degree turn with this program here. Playoffs, 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 3 years in a row, 1 win last year. So, I mean, that shows you right there how quickly it can change with graduation and with transfers and player departure.
The world of football, Jeremy, at all levels.
Yep, you're so right.
Unpredictable in a lot of ways. Pass out is incomplete by Hoffmeister, intended on the play for number 16, Dylan Townsend. It's going to bring up a fourth down now. It's going to stop the clock. So the Cascade champions will bring out the punter. Then Justin Wynn will drift deep. Excuse me. This is Combs coming out now to boot the ball away.
Getting a little bit of a breeze here late in the game.
Matthew Combs gets the high snap, handles it fine. Wobbly kick, going to take a Cascade roll out of bounds right at the 40-yard line of MTCS. So the Cougars put up some points. Get ready for next week. Get some reps in for your younger players at this point. Build confidence. I mean, it's tough when you're down 32-0 and staring an 0-3 start right in the face, but you still have to have confidence, and you need someone quickly in the locker room to step up and be that leader. You would expect it would be one of the 5 seniors, Hoffbauer, Howard,
Brandon. We saw that before the game. Zach Brandon was really, I know he's not playing tonight, but he was really getting in on him in the huddle in the pregame.
Hoffbauer over for Wynn, who catches it. Gets across midfield and is dragged for about 4 more yards by a gang of champions, so thank you very much, says Justin Wynn. And if I'm not mistaken, Jeremy, that's Justin Wynn's first catch of the night.
I'll check it for you. You would be right, sir.
And now Wynn coming out to be replaced by Clayton Mitchell. 5:38 to go. Cougars with a first down just outside the Cascade 45. Looking for something, anything to put a smile on their faces. Tanner Green in the backfield. 4-receiver set. This is Green up the middle, finding a little room across the 45, fighting down to the 40-yard line. A power run by Tanner Green.
6 yards.
So good work by the offensive line, getting an opening for Tanner Green, and Green exploits it. So second down and 4 for MTCS. Wynn and Mitchell now switching places again. Wynn comes in with the play. It's play calling by committee here tonight, Jeremy.
Has been so far.
If Coach Stewart is going to send in a sub, he'll just give the play to him and not necessarily to Hoffbauer. The play gets to the huddle either way. 2 receivers either side for Hoffbauer now. Takes the snap, looks to his left, fires over the middle. There's Wynn again. Wynn again inside the 35. Fighting for that extra yardage. A pile up. And Wynn ends up inside the 35 with another Cougar first down. 4:22 and counting to go here in Wartrace. Breeze starting to kick up. That may be the rumble you hear in the background of our commentary here tonight. So just inside the 35-yard line, MTCS has a first down. Clock runs. Just over 4 minutes to go. Time for the Cougars to work, put together this good drive, get it into the end zone. Hickey, Starling, and Wynn to the near side. This is Austin Melton having the ball in and out of his hands. It is incomplete.
That does stop the clock. 3:48 to go.
That quick little bubble screen over to Melton. Couldn't find the handle on it. This time Brian Stewart gives the play to Clayton Mitchell, who comes in for Wynn again. Wynn looks like he's hobbling a little bit. Looks like maybe a chest maybe a bruise, maybe got a hit that wasn't quite kosher, as they would say. This is Hoffbauer now, rolling to his right, gonna throw, got a man open. And being taken down inside the 25, close to a first down, is Trey Hickey. Good pass and catch. Hoffbauer waited for Hickey to come open and found him with a quick pass. Hoffbauer stringing a nice set of passes together. Moving the chains. Wynn picking up a lot, really. Scrambling to get all of our notes and stuff.
Paperwork, yeah.
Hoffbauer now rolling to his left, throwing, has Wynn with a good catch inside the 20-yard line.
How reminiscent is this of the end of the Nashville Christian game?
Very. And the Cougars, with very few exceptions over 2011 and now in 2012, have not been shut out. There have been a couple last year and none at all so far in 2012. And they've got 2 minutes and 52 seconds to get off the schneid here tonight and put some points on the board. And we want to apologize, all of this wind that just has suddenly kicked up. Hoffbauer gives inside. Green stutter steps, pushing forward, going to get down near the 10-yard line.
Tough run by Green there, first down.
Going to be another first down for MTCS.
In the concession stand, hot dogs, 50 cents.
So we may get a touchdown call here after all, Jeremy, as it is first down and goal at the 8-yard line for MTCS. 2 receivers to the near side, 3 receivers to the near side as Hoffbauer fakes inside to Green. Hoffbauer rolls, throws, has Austin Melton who can't make the grab.
Man, so close.
And Melton, for his efforts, gets a Cascade helmet right in the breadbasket. Melton having to come out. Got to sacrifice the body sometimes, Jeremy, to make a play. Unfortunately, it didn't work for Austin that time. So second down and goal, 8-yard line. Clock is stopped, 2:12 to go. As Hoffbauer and the Cougars are looking to get into the end zone. Hoffbauer to throw. Hoffbauer outside, got his man. No, they're calling it incomplete over there, intended for Wynn. It's going to be third down and goal. 2 more cracks at it for MTCS. Trying to get that big goose egg off of the scoreboard on the visitor side.
That wind is really kicking up here.
Third down, Hoffbauer rolling to his right. He can run this thing, and that's what he's going to do. Looking for the corner, is going to be tackled right at the 6-yard line. So it's going to be fourth down and goal from that point.
So this is going to be the last chance.
1:50 to go in the ball game. So what play do we dial up here? Or does Coach Stewart let the clock run down and take a timeout, and they can talk about this fourth down play? That looks like what may happen. And there's the timeout call. MTCS takes their first BVI group printing timeout of the second half with 1:15 to go in the game and facing a fourth down and goal from the Cascade 6. So MTCS will talk about it, see what they want to do to get it into the end zone here. We want to thank all of you for watching tonight on TSSAA Network. This game is live to tape tonight.
Oh, another bit of news for not really high school football. Well, not high school football at all. Middle Tennessee football, with the news yesterday of Titans receiver Kenny Britt only being suspended 1 game despite the fact that many thought he was going to be suspended for multiple. So he definitely got a gift there, and the Titans got a gift by only missing him for one.
Well, the only problem is the one game that he's suspended for is against the New England Patriots.
Who made a lot of interesting releases today, by the way, including releasing Deion Branch from their team this afternoon.
The Patriots did?
Yes.
Deion Branch, a former Super Bowl MVP.
Really shocking. Really shocking.
So 4th down and goal for MTCS. Hoffbauer going to throw. Going to go deep into the corner in a triple coverage, and there's a flag, and another flag, and a third flag. So the Cougars may get another shot at this. May get an automatic 1st down and goal at the 2-yard line since it's happened in the end zone. So if you're going to throw it up, if your receiver doesn't come down with it, that's pretty much the best outcome that you can hope for. It's a pass interference call on the defense.
And a lot of this is the remnants as far as the wind goes. The remnants of the hurricane/tropical storm that is still going up the middle of the country that hit coast a couple of days ago. So,
well, they're going to give the Cougars a 1st down, and they're going to move it from the left to the right hash.
And they're at the 3.
1:08 to go. Fake to Green. Throwing into the arms of a Cascade defensive back. They're going to call it incomplete.
Not a good pass there.
Hoffbauer had, it looks like Justin Wynn. That's who he was going for. However, he had Peyton Buckner closer and open. Tried to loft it over the head for Justin Wynn. And the Cascade defensive back undercut the route. So 2nd down now and goal at the 3. Hoffbauer takes the snap. Rolling, being pressured, throwing, intended for Austin Melton, again incomplete. 53 seconds to go in the game and a 3rd down and goal now. Cougars having trouble punching it in here. So 2 more tries for MTCS to put some points up on the board. Hoffbauer inside to Green. Tanner Green, touchdown Cougars! Green scores his 2nd touchdown of the season and gets that big old goose egg off the Cougars side.
That feels a little bit better.
So now Thomas Goodwin on for a PAT attempt. Hoffbauer's going to hold. I think Justin Wynn is the long snapper here. Low snap. Hoffbauer handles it cleanly, and Goodwin boots it through. The extra point is good. And the score now, 48 seconds to go in this one. Cascade 32, MTCS 7. Lawrence Goodwin, all smiles here in the Cougar stands as young Thomas makes his extra point. So, Jeremy, there is a big thumbs up from the coaching staff and from the team on the sidelines. They're not going to go home empty-handed.
Exactly. You got, I mean, like I said, how much did that remind you of the end of the National Christian game? And what did they do the following week? No, they did not win, but they followed it up with a very good performance for 3 quarters, but just couldn't close the deal. So let's see if that translates into next week's game at Cosby High School on the road.
48 seconds to go in this one. Some good passes by Hoffbauer, some good catches by Wynn and Starling and Buckner. And a little bit of a delay here while they wait for a dry ball for Philip Bonnaby to put on the tee and kick away.
Gotten lucky here tonight. We had some rain before the game, but really for the most part throughout this game we haven't had any.
Yep, knock on these wooden bleachers that stays true for the rest of 2012.
3 for 3 so far.
You and I have had some really good luck weather-wise in our 5 years of now broadcasting. The only really bad one was back in 2008.
Second game of the year at Eagleville. The monsoon
It was more remnants of yet another hurricane.
Yes, that's true.
Bonnevie puts the atomic toe into it, angling towards the sideline. Cascade's going to pick it up and run with it. And going to get up near the 40-yard line.
And if you remember the last game, I believe it was either of 2009 or 2010 at Eagleville, the game had to be moved up to a Thursday night due to the arrival of a hurricane that was supposed to be coming through the following day. And I do remember that one very well. Yeah. We actually didn't have rain that night, but had to move the schedules because of it.
Yeah, moved to a Thursday night, and that was 2009, Jeremy.
Okay, yeah, so 2 years in a row, weather was affecting Eagleville.
That was the that was the battle for the top seed in the 1A bracket between Eagleville and MTCS.
That the Cougars did win.
That was the game where the referee got in the way of the Eagleville punter and caused a fumble that MTCS converted into a touchdown.
That's right. I do remember that. It took me a moment, but I do remember that now.
Sulzer now in at quarterback to get into the victory formation and take a couple of knees. And the Cascade champions will take this one by a final of 32-7. So Cascade will improve to 3-0 overall and 1-0 in District 9A. The Cougars will fall to 0-3 and 0-1 in the district. So a mirror image of what we saw at this point in 2011, Jeremy.
Absolutely.
Schedule, or stat-wise, score-wise, and record-wise. But otherwise, there have been some great highlights. Well, they will not have to snap the ball again, and that is it. Here from Wartrace, your final score, Cascade Champions 32, MTCS Cougars 7. We're going to step aside for a moment, gather our stats, and come back with our traditional quick post-game show. You're watching Cougar football on the TSSAA Network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for our quick post-game show before we wrap things up here from Cascade High School. Brent Hoffbauer finished the night 13 out of 33 passing, 102 yards, and that 1 interception. 5 carries for 14 yards as well. Tanner Green, 10 carries for 26 yards and the 1 touchdown. Braden Melton really had a showing here tonight with 9 tackles in his first start in his young career as a freshman. Justwin added 3 catches for 31 yards as well. So, Jay, 0-3 on the season now, 0-1 in district play, but, I mean, the growing is the growing is there, and, I mean, this is just a very youthful team, and they're just going to have to grow together.
It's one of those things that you can say we can see this team growing up before our eyes.
Right.
Steps are being made each and every week. It may not seem that way, but we can see it up here, and fans know exactly what they're seeing. Now, the phrases have been thrown around, oh, just wait till next year, or oh, just wait till 2 years from now. Well, let's focus on the here and now of it.
Right.
And learning the lessons now to take forward with them into future seasons.
Absolutely.
And this season is only 3 games old, 7 more to go, and anything and everything can happen between now and the end of October.
Absolutely right, sir.
But for the time being, we are going to say goodnight from Wartrace, Tennessee, where the Cascade champions have beaten the Cougars 32-7 in a District 9A game. So for Jeremy Smith, I am Jay Bruner, wishing you good night, and we will see you next week at Cosby.